Hey everyone, this is Ruan. Welcome back to another video. In this video, I wanted to come on my YouTube channel really quickly and talk about the differences of my journey of starting a service business to offering software as a service. So if you guys have been following my channel for the last 2 weeks or so, you've probably seen me posting about SplashDash, which is a new SEO reporting and AI reporting software tool that allows you to generate really nice reports really quickly without having access to anything. So we opened up beta testing for this product and we're receiving some really great feedback. And I really quickly just wanted to talk about some of the things that I've already learned by doing this. The first one is selling a software solution is a lot different than providing a service. So for the past 6 years, Develomark, my agency, has been selling a service in that we take a business, we redo their website, we send digital traffic to their website, and we generate them new leads. And that has been really fruitful for the last 6 years. So fruitful to the point to where we've grown to be a $1.6 million company and have several employees that are executing the work on Develomark's behalf, including myself. But when you're making a product for multiple people to utilize, and it's not a customized solution, the engineering of it has to be way different. For example, when I make a website for somebody, it can be completely reinventing the wheel each and every single time. Now, when I create a product solution that has to tailor to everyone's fit, this becomes a lot more difficult. And this is what's called product market fit. And when I went to a Duda event at their actual headquarters a few years ago, I asked the CEO of Duda, Itai, what's the most difficult part of starting a software business? And he said, product market fit. For me, that means who's this product for and who's it gonna help? So I figured in today's video, I would walk you through behind the scenes of what we're seeing, the successes, and also the things we're worried about, and where I think the software is gonna go. So I'd like to really take the time to show you how the beta test is working. That is, the people that are trying the product right now, that are basically in exchange for getting free credits, they're giving us feedback. And some of the analytics, where the product's going, how the product works, how this is going to be a useful application in the near future as we start to build it. And ultimately, I wanted to show you some of the pain points that we're having right now when it comes to engineering. So I'm going to hop into my computer right now and show you some of the data, and I hope you enjoy this video. So before we start, I figured it was important for you to understand how we're getting people to our beta test application page. And really what this is it's just a web page that we put up on our website that allows people to apply now to beta test. And the application process is pretty straightforward. They submit an application, they get approved, they start the testing, and then they complete their journey. And so really what they need to do is fill out a really quick form that gives us information about them so that we can approve them. Because I've been working at Develomark for 6 years, I have a pretty solid understanding of how the reporting system should work. And we call this an MVP, a minimum viable product, which really means what exactly are we trying to accomplish? And for us, we found it very difficult to do really cool reporting very quickly, especially with the introduction of AI. We feel that the AI systems, specifically OpenAI and ChatGPT, should make it easier for us to do our reporting. So we're leveraging a lot of that technology with SplashDash, which we'll show you in a bit. Now, when we did the applications process, we found that a lot of people were actually interested in doing the beta test. Out of 691 views of our form, 188 of them started, 122 of them actually submitted, and that was a 64.9 or 65% completion rate, which in digital marketing standards is relatively high. Now keep in mind, my audience is really people who do SEO and have respected the work that I've done in the past, but ultimately I'm still shocked at the amount of people that actually completed this, because that's really rewarding and we're forever grateful for that. Now let's look at the summary. This allows me to see a lot of the key highlights of people that have interacted with us. 90% of them have websites. That's kind of a needed at this point. 91% of them do SEO and digital marketing. That's what our product is for. In fact, if you go to the SplashDash website, you'll quickly see the headline that says Simplified SEO Reporting for Smarter Decisions. So we're really targeting the people that utilize digital marketing tools and send reports to clients to show them how well they're doing, etc. And then you can see how many clients do they work with. This was a range of different amounts of clients that people work with, starting anywhere from 0 going all the way to 500. What content management system do they use? A lot of them used WordPress, Duda, Shopify, Kajabi, etc. But the main two, and I think our main product market fit, is going to be users of WordPress and Duda. And then scrolling down, are they US based? This was a big proponent of it. If you're not US based, unfortunately, the product is not going to work for you right now because it's beta test. It can only pull in US databases. In the near future, it's going to be able to pull in pretty much any country's database if it's available in the different systems that we're working with and the different data providers that we're working with. And this was a definite need for us. If they're sending marketing reports, 85% of the users do, 14% don't. How often do they generate reports? It seems like the most popular one is monthly. Generally in our industry, clients don't need to see reports all the time, but as you'll see in a quick demo of the product, SplashDash is a really good way to get potential clients. It's not just a way to get existing clients happy. It's a good way to showcase potential clients where their areas of opportunity are. And then what SEO and SEM tools are they using? These are the different tools that they are using that they currently want integrated. So things like Search Console, which has a free API, Analytics, which has a free API, SEMrush, which is paid, Ahrefs, which is paid, Bright Local paid, SpyFu paid, Moz paid, Yext paid, etc. A lot of these tools, digital marketing professionals will pay for, and I want to explain that's one of our main value propositions in just a second. So in the long term, I foresee a platform that has hundreds, if not thousands, of different reports that you can generate that combine data from all of these different sources at the power of your fingertips without having to have access to any of them. And that's a huge thing because traditionally you have to log into a platform, input all of these different credentials, all these different keys, have to create a project, you have to create users, you have to pay for white labeling, you have to do all of these miraculous things just to generate a report and just to kind of see how someone's doing. So I'm going to demonstrate to you how the action system works, how easy it is to generate a report using our framework that SplashDash has created, so you can kind of see the vision in place. And what I'll do is I'll show you the newest ones, and then I'll show you a couple of the old ones so you can see the thought process behind how we're going to generate actions at scale, and then how we're building these and engineering these on a daily basis. Now, as we scroll down, you can see that I have data on what people really like and which ones they think are the most important. So obviously, as we start to build the product, I will go ahead and make sure we prioritize that from an engineering standpoint of what people favorites are and how to execute those. And we have a lot of different things of what people have said of features they wish they had. So for example, position tracker, that's one that we just built. Local rankings for low volume keywords, that's a solution we're working on. Report, more classes to learn, better SEO integration, content optimizer, ability to see our competitors and consumer actions. So I want to highlight these for just a second because this is one of them that we really paid attention to, and we created that through our action system, which we're going to show you in a little bit. But before I do that, I wanted to kind of show you our analytics that we're seeing from the go. First and foremost, on the last 14 days, we've had about 118 people go to the platform, 2.8K page views, so they've actually bounced through different pages, which is a good sign, 343 unique sessions, and the session duration was about 29 minutes and 37 seconds. Now, that doesn't mean that users are spending an excessive amount of time on the platform. SplashDash is built in a way where I don't expect them to do that. Once you see how the platform works, you'll quickly see that a lot of the data is generated quickly and then they X out of it. So, without further ado, let's hop into the platform. So the first thing that you'll see is the actual actions system. So an action is basically a report that you can generate by having a few field inputs. And that report will generate a link that you can then share to your potential client and or your prospective or existing client. And each action will have a title. So for example, we have digital presence, compare metrics, position tracking, domain rating keywords, backlink overview, compare backlinks, etc., etc. So the SplashDash team, our small team of engineers and myself, we are creating more actions so that the users of SplashDash will automatically get those put into their account. So for example, this week we released 2 new actions. One is called sentiment analysis, which allows a person to see the local sentiment analysis based on consumer reviews in a local marketplace. And the second one is position tracking. Now, I'm going to explain to you my vision for actions in just a second so you can see how the platform will be built out in the long term. Part of the promise of SplashDash is to allow digital marketers to access all of these tools in one place without necessarily having an account for them. That doesn't necessarily mean, actually it doesn't mean it at all, that it's a replacement for these tools. We highly recommend you still have access to them, but it allows you to simplify data from all of them in one place. We found that we have access to all of these tools at our agency, and a lot of people may not have that, or they may not have the budget to do that, or they want data from a certain place and they think data from a different place is better. For example, I enjoy Moz's domain authority metric, but then I enjoy Ahrefs' organic traffic metric, but then I enjoy SpyFu's PPC metrics, but then I enjoy SEMrush's keyword metrics. So combining them all into one place really is the main value proposition of what SplashDash can accomplish. So as you're going to see in the following video, I'm going to demonstrate how these reports can be pulled relatively quickly. So let's start with position tracking. And this allows you to analyze a domain's top position in search results for common terms. The reason that's important is because if you're doing local SEO or if you're doing digital marketing, you may want to know where a business ranks so you can improve their rankings with targeted SEO. If you're not familiar with what position tracking is, according to Google, it's the process of monitoring and recording a location or position. So a lot of position tracking tools include things like SpyFu, SEMrush, Ahrefs. A lot of these tools do this, but SplashDash has decided to engineer it a little bit differently. The way that it works is instead of creating a project and instead of doing all of this setup, you can quickly run one without having access to anything, utilizing the Google Maps integration, the Google Search integration, the ChatGPT integration. So I can put a domain, in this case, I'll put a med spa that we've been working with for a long time, a location, in this case, I'll put in their main primary organic location, and then a business category. So I'll just put in med spa. The way that the technology is going to work is SplashDash is going to make a search in Google Maps, in Google Search, with keywords that are generated by AI that AI thinks are important and that a user would search in that area for med spa and its related terms. It's going to find the domain and bring us back the actual report. So I'm going to click the run button. SplashDash is going to generate that report. The server is going to do its magic. And then at the end, I'm going to get a result and a report that I can share with the prospective client or with my existing client. So let's take a look at what it's going to look like on the front end. So once a report is generated, this is what it's going to look like. First and foremost, I'm going to see that search terms related to med spa in Southington, Connecticut for this domain on this date. Automatically, I can share this report by downloading it as a CSV, or I can go ahead and just take a look at it and analyze it before I do so. Right off of the bat, you're going to see the different search terms that were searched. You can see how the AI was smart enough to add the different variations of the search terms and even add the location Southington CT as a modifier. In a lot of position tracking tools, we've found that they don't add the modifier and you have to do it manually. So why do the human work when I can cut that out with AI? That's where our OpenAI integration comes into play. Then it'll provide you with a map position and an organic position. All of the data is filterable on all of the reports that you can pull, and it'll provide you which URL it's ranking on and give you at least 15 results. So you can see that Southington Beauty Clinic, we're ranking 5th position, but 2nd position in the organic. This I can take to a prospective client or my existing client and position SEO services to them or do a better job on these keywords if that's really a focus. So let's actually search one of these keyword phrases and see this in action. So if I click on any of these results, it's going to search the actual keyword in the real Google search engine. You're going to see that the keyword is searched at the top, and then at the bottom, you'll see the organic map position, which SplashDash told us was 1, so that's correct. And then you'll also see the organic results position, which SplashDash also told us was 1. So you can see how the data is accurate, and most position tracking tools we've found, the data is behind and it's lagging. This is because a lot of those tools cache these results, where our tool is allowing you to create the snapshot very quickly, pretty instantly, without having access to anything. As I scroll, the data is also going to show me the different terms that were ranked. the average map position, the average organic position. Of course, if most of them are in the top 5, that means you're doing well in your SEO strategy. If a lot are in the top 6 to 10, you have areas of opportunity. And if a lot are in the top 11, you definitely have a lot of areas of opportunity. So this report looks good to me, and this is something that I can share with the client by, again, copying it to clipboard or downloading this entire report. At the bottom of every action, OpenAI does its due diligence and writes a text-based summary of the data for the user to read. And I can also click share a link and share this with the client so they can see it at their end without the need to log in for this data or to have an account at all with SplashDash. And in the near future, agencies will be able to white label this data. So they'll be able to put in their logo. They'll be able to white label the DNS records, which is the domain name server, by putting in their CNAME and adding a custom domain, something like app.youragency.com. So you can see the vision of the action system in play there, and that's just one action. So now I want to show you another action. This is one that we created this week, and it's really cool because it allows you to find data in a local marketplace and create what's called a sentiment analysis. Sentiment analyses, when we're doing marketing, are really important because we've got to understand what the user values in that area. And if we can talk to that user, if we can represent the best parts of our business to that user, generally speaking, we're going to be able to get more clients for our businesses that we're representing online. So you can kind of see the future of the action system in play with just position tracking. But now let's jump into sentiment analysis so I can show you the same system with different data. Okay, so now I'm in my dashboard again. And in my last one, I presented to you position tracking. You saw how that worked. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you sentiment analysis. And sentiment analysis is a really cool one that just allows me to see all of the important things that users have said are important about a business by utilizing review analysis. So this tool is going to call on one integration. That's the Google Maps integration. I'm going to type in a keyword. I'll type in dentist. I'll pick a category from the dropdown. I could just write a keyword alone, but let me just go ahead and pick the category. Then I'm going to pick the location. In this case, I'm going to pick Los Angeles, California. So you can see Los Angeles is available in the dropdown. I'll click that, and then I'll run. Now, what's going to happen in this case scenario is it's going to search all of the dentists in the Los Angeles area, read all of their reviews, and then AI is going to tell me what the most important things are to a patient visiting a dental office in Los Angeles. So right off of the bat, we get a couple of things in this action. We get a table that shows us the keyword, its sentiment, whether it was positively mentioned or negatively, the amount of mentions filtered. I can filter this by lowest to highest. And we also get a table that's color-coded that shows me the most mentioned in the darkest and the least mentioned in the lightest. And so there's so many different ways that you can utilize this report. But if I filter it, it also changes the colors, and then there's also pagination, so I can take a look at all of the different mentions that were said about this specific data. As a marketing person, as a marketing manager at an agency, I can quickly see where patients in that area have a neutral sentiment, where there's clearly areas of opportunity, where there are bad sentiments. So you can see that not many bad sentiments are being mentioned except for exam. So if I was a dental office in this area looking to stand out, I might do something special with my exam process. Or if I was going to redesign my website, I would make a very clear focus on an office that's clean, that provides cleaning, that addresses patients' questions, that accepts insurance, etc. So you can see the variety of the data and the different actions that you pull and how quickly you can pull them. Scrolling down, I can see where all of this data came from, because as a user, I would want to know which dental offices are being mentioned and how. And so I can quickly navigate and see which ones are being mentioned. And if I wanted to, I can click on their Google Maps listing and clearly see the data for myself. And also I can download this information. So if I wanted to download this as a CSV, I could, or I can copy different terms if I was doing something like ChatGPT and I wanted to use this data for whatever use case I saw fit. And then of course, at the bottom, I can send a report snapshot to an existing or potential client, or I can send this as a link and the client can open it up directly on their device. So there you have our action system, and that is the basis of the SplashDash app that we're building. Pretty cool, right? The major things is that we at Develomark, the agency that's really funding this and allowing this to come to life and testing it and utilizing it, we can get these actions created every few weeks. There's going to be new ones. So if you're in the beta testing program, I can't wait for you to try them out, but expect more of them to come into your dashboard automatically as we go on. There's a lot of things that I want to accomplish. There's a ton of actions that I've thought of that we can create that allows users to access a lot of this data with a couple clicks of a button in a beautiful front end report that they can utilize. And so I encourage you to check out the links in the description of this video so you can actually access those actions. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.